Hey, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm going to check testing with my voice. Please let me know if you can hear me. If you I wanted to talk about if the sound is working. That would be great. But either way, I want to talk about what I think the body is made of, and the current interpretation of the body in the non-allopathic or iatrogenic loving crowd, because we have to be very specific when we're on YouTube, right? And that's why I'm recording this, because I'm out of the country right now, and I'm very excited that I'm able to record and post, and that's why I feel compelled to record tonight, because maybe I'm not going to be able to in the United States based on YouTube and its algorithms. So, what I want to get out is the following. I did an experiment in the summer of 2023. I learned that fluoride was added to the salt where I was living. And I said, wow, that's pretty bad. I had just learned about fluoride being added to toothpaste and then water, and I was overwhelmed by that concept since it is a neurotoxin. And then when I learned that the country that I've been living in and I gave birth to my children in has added this neurotoxin to the salt, I thought, wow, salt must be something really important. And that correlated exactly with my reading of the Bible. And I became very inspired. And also, I love words. So I started thinking about when I lived in Italy in 2004. I thought it was really interesting that the word for money was soldi. And look, if I'm wrong, I have not confirmed this, okay? So this is 2004, this is 20, 30, whatever, 20 years ago. And soldi means salt. And I thought, how funny that the word for money is salt, right? And that was 2004. And I remember really thinking about it and then talking to people and being like, oh, yeah, because what does salt do? It cures the meat, or right, it allows uh, fresh meat or products, fish, chicken, even fruits. You'll find this in Mexico. You put salt on it and it preserves it, right? It preserves it. So what I want to say is that the elimination of salt in our daily life, like pure salt, was absolutely contrived and created so that they could confuse us with the periodic table of elements in these preservatives. Cons- I speak in Spanish a lot, so I'm sorry, but conservant, any of these preservatives that sounds like a neutral word are actually poisons that have replaced the life-giving electrolyte that is salt. So I have a lot of reasons why I say that. Because can anybody hear me? Is anyone here? No, no one's come on. Great. Okay. So salt, I had always heard, was an electrolyte, right? So I said, okay, I don't believe anything right now because the world is upside down to me. I realized that everything's been a lie. And I hired a handyman, and who was 35 years old. It was a neighbor. And when he didn't have work, I said, okay, just meet with me. And we met about 8 times for at least 3 hours each time. And we achieved electricity by using a salt rock from the 10th largest salt mine on Earth, which was, I don't know, 15 miles from my house as the bird flies. and water, and we made an anode and a cathode, and we achieved bubbles, electricity. So I know that salt is an electrolyte, and I think that's extremely important. And I started researching. I'm a huge researcher, and I learned that President John F. Kennedy, knew about this. He called it blue energy, and that the entire Earth could be powered by the ocean. I'm sitting here by the ocean. It's amazing. I've been swimming every day. I really encourage you to consider the importance of the ocean in your life, because the Earth, whatever shape you believe in, I do not believe we're on a globe. That makes no sense. That's entirely insane and crazy. Once you look at the information, I used to believe we were on a globe, but I didn't really care. But then when I started looking at it, it's insane. Okay, you can look at my posts, look at my posts, watch some videos. I curate my information. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not trying to make any money. I'm just trying to share information with you, because I have children and I don't want them to grow up with a bunch of stupid idiots beside them who don't look at proof and just believe whatever is delivered to them as proof. So I know that salt's an electrolyte. And when I realized that this is a great theme in many things, in language particularly, and in the Bible, and as a major element in pre-chemistry, which is alchemy, and its main three ingredients are salt, sulfur, and mercury. And personally, I think that sulfur and mercury are made from salt. So I know that's a hunch, and I'm sure there's men or women alchemists that can correct me, but let's go, because I'm starting to think that sulfur is actually burnt salt. And I think that mercury is got a whole bunch of processes to it, but salt's in there. And basically, chemistry is a more categorized ingredient list and processing of the 7 alchemical processes that exist already, to make more chemicals with more names, with more consonants, so that you don't look at the word, because it's too many consonants and our brain turns off when visually it's too confusing, right? And if it smells good or it looks good in a great package with nice fonts and pretty writing with words that sound like they're healthy, we're going to go ahead and eat it, even if those words with a whole bunch of consonants and no vowels are actually saying this is poison and it's going to give you cancer or kill you or give you diabetes, or it's all there. It's all there in the ingredients. So based on all of this, I started looking at the most obvious thing, which is that we are all day long expelling liquids, or whatever we secrete from our body is salty, starting with our saliva. And that word saliva comes from salt. It's also from the mucus in our nose. It's also from the tears in our eyes. It's also the earwax. It's also our sweat. It's also semen. It's also blood. And I posit that bones are actually hardened salt gel. So I say all of this because the current belief system, and I think Nobel Prize winning Harvard scientists claim that our body is actually energized by something called ATP. So what I just stated, I did in the wrong order, because I want you to understand that it's accepted right now among the greatest minds, and I will say those that know that there's no virus and that viruses do not exist and contagion does not exist. Among those people, Um, it is believed that our body is made of crystallized water, structured water, exclusion zone water, or fourth phase water. What does that mean? So the most famous currently is a guy named Gerald Pollack, and he says that, wow, and I think it's fascinating. We're not a liquid, right? We're not just water. We're not a piece of ice. We're not a solid, and we're not a gas, right? We're not steam, but that we're a gel, and that gel could only be created if there are electrical charges. That means, in his definition, electrons and protons. I don't believe in electron theory. I don't believe in atomic theory. I think that's all bullshit, and I can explain that in a couple sentences. But the point is that there's a lot of extrapolation around something that seems extremely obvious. Salt's an electrolyte. What we secrete or expel from our body is also salty. So maybe we're all made of salt. And that's why bones do not burn in cremation. And I think there's a relationship to phosphates. And I think it'd be really good if people start looking at phosphates and understanding the relationship with their salt content. And knowing that there's some really great news to this. So, if indeed we are actually made of salt gel, then we probably need to continually be giving ourselves some more salt, is my thinking. And so, I replace my coffee with salt water. I drink salt water in the morning. It can be like, I don't know, about 4 ounces, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving recommendations. I'm not giving advice. I'm just telling you my experiences. And I swim in the ocean and I swallow salt water. And when I don't have an ocean near me, I either bring ocean water to my house and sip it until noon, or I add salt to water and I enjoy that as opposed to coffee. Coffee, which I used to drink 3 cups a day until 2023 in the fall, when my good friend informed me that Carolyn Angel, who has a wonderful book called 50 Shades of Grain, I highly recommend it. It's an international bestseller on Amazon. And she informed me, and the book does too, that the number one glyphosated crop on earth is coffee. And glyphosate is an antibiotic. Antibiotics are bad, and that basically means that they kill life. Glyphosate is a pesticide slash fertilizer, which means that it kills all of the little organisms around it that would naturally be there, but then it helps because of its chemical combination, which I'm just going to say has to be with some kind of compressed salt energy, onto a genetically modified seed that generally is hermaphrodite, meaning that it's already been modified to self-produce as opposed to needing a male and a female in two different trees. So I just want to express these ideas. I can talk about this for hours. I've spent many hours on this. I enjoy studying chemistry, biology, cosmology, history, and I love children. They are our future and they grow up very quickly. And I believe that we need more critical thinkers and people to comment. So if you saw this, thank you. And please comment and we can discuss these ideas. I have more to say, but I just want to let you know that I've been drinking salt water from the ocean since 2023. I don't have a cell phone since 2023. I've let my hair grow out, and I'm trying to get as many chemicals out of me. I I feel very good. I feel very healthy. I'm at the best weight I've ever been in my life. I've been able to maintain it for a long time. I'm starting to understand how my body reacts. And I know two chemicals. And I know now that most of my life I have been consuming really bad chemicals. And I just want to share with you that I feel good and invite you to accompany me on this new chapter in life of growing my own trees and exploring and getting into a entirely new look and being okay with it, because the best look is healthy, or the best look is vital longevity, is what I believe. And I think that vital longevity means for me, like, still falling in love with someone and still having physical, warm, wonderful contact and love, and feeling good in the morning when you wake up and that you want to get up and walk around and see the nature and many other things. So I hope you have a beautiful night. I wanted to do this before I get back to the United States tomorrow. And please comment. I really appreciate anyone who watches this, and let me know that you're out there, because I have a heavy, healthy suspicion that maybe nobody is watching this, and this is just a narcissistic exercise. Good night.